clear as vodkas that y'all niggas won't pop a ball. Weak as fuck and I love that. Stun on niggas, I judge that. Ice all in the car, forever on the ground, weak bitches. I shank at the kush, I'm about to roll up tight, roll up tall, packing them out. Big in the room like Shaq in the house. So dope, fuck hoes, rich ain't yeah, really do that shit niggas rapping about. Life is a movie, I'm acting it out. Fuck them payments, I'm cashing it out. Roll up, I roll up, they fuck up like damn it, that nigga out here's a fucking problem. Hell yeah, nigga, LL without the Kango, nigga. Lang on, nigga. Broke talk ain't my lingo, nigga. Say that shit for the rainbow, nigga. Nah, that. You played out just like a dot I had. Diamond Lane, yeah, I'ma die by that. Fuck y'all niggas with them rah-rah raps. Nigga like dog August.
That nigga's going crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has removed the fasten seatbelt sign. You are now free to roam about the cabin. On behalf of Diamond Lane America, once again, we thank you for flying. Welcome to Mollywood.
Yeah, y'all niggas know I go by problem, right? Fuck a lot of bitches, smoke a lot of flight. Yeah. When a nigga talk, I better listen.
What?
Collar poppin' as clear as vodka that y'all niggas won't pop a ball. Weak as fuck and I love that. Stun on niggas, I judge that. Ice all in the car, forever on the ground, weak bitches, I shrug that. Poppin' like big old bag of the kush, I'm about to roll up tight, roll up twice. Pull up on the block, poppin', right? Gas and go. Wait, Wally, let me grab some more. On that bag, let me grab some dope. Nigga ain't talking about bacon brew. Tall, packing them out. Big in the room like Shaq in the house. So dope, fuck hoes, rich ain't yeah, really do that shit niggas rapping about. Life is a movie, I'm acting it out. Fuck them payments, I'm cashing it out. Roll up, I roll up, they fuck up like damn it, that nigga out here's a fucking problem. Hell yeah, nigga. LL without the Kango, nigga. Lang on, nigga. Broke talk ain't my lingo, nigga. Say that shit for the rainbow, nigga. Nah, that. You played out just like a dot I had. Diamond Lane, yeah, I'ma die by that. Fuck y'all niggas with them rah-rah raps. Fuck all that. Nigga wood planners ain't made a bigger nut. Girl, you better swallow with a nigga nut. Pour some more drink up in my cup. Shit like a light. Dog August club with black as a hockey puck. Poppin' bitches feeling good. Welcome to Mollywood. All these bitches acting like they like a nigga. All these niggas acting like they fucking don't. They better hope my bros don't get excited, nigga. Till the day I die, I'm living by this fucking quote. Fuck, 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 broke down the way. He's no fuck these niggas. They playing around.
Fucking with me.
Don't wanna do nothing. Piss me off, I'm gon' punch and hit him. Sniff that lie, go blow by blow. Nigga ride big like 4x4. RIP, they know her. Killing it. Dropping crazy when I flow. I'm steering it. Boy, get out my way. Put it into the week like Saturday. Politics, but don't lie about what you talking about. On my high horse and I'ma ride it out. We yelling get it till I'm in the hole like where Timmy done. Don't owe y'all shit cause you ain't give me nothing. My mind's a cesspool, I'm cold as Red Bull. Know when a nigga speak, I'm for real as next to that breath took. Come and show you how to do it like sex books. Eating good like a chef cook. Y'all know y'all ain't right like left foot. Yeah, my bitches thick like textbooks. I don't mind nigga look. Y'all ain't even see when I put my leg up.
Welcome to Mollywood.
All these bitches acting like they like a nigga. All these niggas acting like they fucking don't. They better hope my bros don't get excited, nigga. Till the day I die, I'm living by this fucking quote.
Hey, why does he keep doing that shit? I don't get why he keeps doing that.
Everywhere I keep hearing, oh,
What's the problem, YouTube?
Everybody wants to
The fly posters are everywhere. 3 decades and 2 systems into this job, and it still excites me seeing them. I feel like a kid again. Good work.
You want to bet? I think you're gonna take my show just a goddamn mind. Strawberry belongs to me. I own that show.
Come on, man. What the fuck is y'all doing? Can't tell me this is it. I know what it is. This guy. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck for?
What the fuck are you doing here? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. What's up?
What is the problem? Shit don't make no motherfucking sense to me, Cuddy. And there's nothing that's gonna tell me what the fuck that means. Like, why is it showing that? Oh, that's that bullshit, my nigga. What? The stream's current bitrate, 89 point, is lower than the recommended bitrate we recommend that you use. Huh? Alright, but where do I set the bitrate at? Why my phone couldn't have been told me that's what the problem was. better be dope.
Situation's critical. Everybody fishing. New cars, no ignition. Bitch, listen, if I wanted to do good, I would probably be a Christian. But other than that, bitch, I'm out here on a mission. New chain next to bracelet. Bitch, face it, I came from the gutter. All we had was butter. Moms and pop smoke. My uncle sold coke. My hood was on the same block. We lost all hope. Now tell me, what's the odds of making it out rich? When Trump is in office and niggas still snitch, and the block is in turmoil, the realest don't exist. Tell me.
Damn. Yeah, that's real S-gang banging. Shoot a nigga spot up, we don't care where you hanging. Yeah, that's S-gang straight banging. Khaki suits and BDs G'd up, straight flaming. Yeah, real cocaine cowboy. On the block, S-gang. And dope fiends all around us. Real niggas in the circle, that's all surrounds us. Yeah, shout out to my nigga Stretch. Let me dip his ride, it ain't nothing but respect. Shout out to Big Jet and my nigga Sticks. My nigga Reno record beats, I put that on the set. I'm the joker out the game. My nigga Big Dog and Lil Dog rep the West.
If you bust, I'ma bust back, busting out the trap. Candy painted, hit the corner, smoking dank inside the lack. Crush dreams and fast living, caught up in the street like man on the head, boy. If you're slipping, better think twice. Survival is an instinct, so easy is my living. Swagger gone wild, fuck the niggas in the skinny jeans. I'm gangsta profiling, with my niggas in the white tees, certified nigga. I'm the gangster that you wanna be. Gang bang, legacy, fat red shoes, string. Money's on my mind, so nigga, why you always hate me? I'm active in my gang bang, combo in this crack gang, legend of my own. If you talk about the street fame, there's killers in the pot, that's why we top of the food chain.
And there's killers in the pot, that's why we top of the food chain.
Yeah, that's real S-gang banging.
The first nigga was alright.
Okay, we need to do something big, something theatrical, something Vinewood, baby. We're promoting our DJ on the Stick It Up and fly it over the city. Everyone will know what's going on here.
Cause I'm the Joker out the deck. Hi, lady.
You're so tasty.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what? My apologies.
Across the visiting area. You better stay out the sun. You get any blacker, I'm going to disown you as being my sister. He winked in my direction, and I grinned. Knowing him as I did, I knew he had said it to embarrass the white people who had stopped visiting to watch us. Boots hadn't realized why he did it, so she kicked him sharply on the leg. He set her back down. God damn you, Boots, he swore, and then added quietly, I was just showing the white folks we was true to form. The frosty glare disappeared from her eyes, and she smiled suddenly. Well, just don't use me for any more of your demonstrations. Tony put his arm around my shoulder. I don't see how you do it, Horson, he said, shaking his head at Boots. Me now? I ain't gonna have nothing but white girls. They know their place. You show me a black girl, and I'll show you the most evilest, meanest, mule-headed woman God put on this earth. Glancing out the corner of my eye, I could see that Boots was steaming. She managed to control her temper until the visiting period was up. We were just about the last ones to leave, and all of Tony's friends who had had visitors joined us. The lush green lawn was almost free of people. Before, it had been full of running and screaming children, but now most of the lawn chairs were empty. A guard started towards us. Boots stood up. Yeah, Tony, I almost forgot to give you Jean's message, she said quietly. She said... Tony interrupted her. What Jean you talking about? Don't try and act clever, nigga, Boots replied sharply. She asked me to tell you that she wanted you to know that she sure liked that hothead you laid on her before you left the streets. The cold, harsh words fell on a silence like a void. For a moment, there was total stillness. Then Tony's friends broke out in laughter. Some of them laughed so hard they fell down and rolled over on the grass, holding their stomachs. Amidst the uproar, Boots stalked off towards the car. Tony stared after her in wonder. That's what I call a dirty black bitch, Horson, he muttered angrily. I watched her feline grace until she entered the Cadillac. Well, Tony, I said, amused. Looks like you got a lot of explaining to do to your friends, baby. He grinned. That's a top-notch whore you got there, Horson. In fact, he continued soberly, there's something about her that reminds me of Jessie. She had been quiet, content to live within herself. Boots was the opposite. She enjoyed the company of others, and when she was by herself, she became miserable. I roused myself from my thoughts as her voice penetrated my daydreams. Yeah, baby, I said lightly. Just you be careful who you say such things. She slipped her arm over the back of the seat and laughed lightly. Her skirt inched up above her knee. As we neared the city, I pulled her skirt up higher and caressed her smooth thighs. I led Boots out of the car in front of the restaurant connected to the hotel so she could pick up some cigarettes. I parked the car and talking. Upon entering, I stopped and looked around casually. Boots came out of the side door of the restaurant without seeing me and started towards the elevator. There were 4 men sitting at a table playing cards, and one of them reached out and grabbed her arm as she went by. His voice came across the room to me, clear and sharp. Hey, honey, what's your hurry? He asked. That young boy you got upstairs got too many girls to be worried about you. That's my arm you happen to have hold of, she replied coldly. Dig how cold she is, he said sarcastically. Honey, you ain't cold. And that young punk you got for a man ain't got enough sense to tell you how to respect a man. A few of the whores and pimps sitting around began to laugh. I watched Boots with amusement. I knew she had a sharp wit, and I hoped that she could handle him. If she couldn't, I was pretty sure that I could. Boots' voice began to rise in anger. I don't care what you say about my man. At least he don't have to sit out here in the lobby and molest other people's women. You got it wrong, baby, the tall, thin card player said. First of all, you ain't got a man. You got a boy. And second, you have to be a man to hang out down here. Boots laughed sarcastically. You say my man is a punk, huh? Why don't you come upstairs and tell that to them 10 black whores here?
Well, that might have had the opposite effect. You want people to actually come to this club, you gotta do better out there.
3 bulldoggers and 2 punks and 1 gold-toothed mule that looks like you, that he ain't a man. The card player's friend towards, but I noticed that he was getting mad. So I moved in. I grabbed the arm that he was holding Boots with. If you don't mind, buddy, I said softly. I'd like to see my woman go on about her business. Sure, man, sure, he said, and with insolence slowly released her hand. He turned his back on me and started laughing and talking to his friends as though I didn't exist. As Boots took my arm, I could feel my temper mounting. Next time one of these tricks stops you, I said loud enough for the whole lobby to hear, You find out how much money the sissy is spending, baby. And if he ain't spending any money, don't waste any time with him. And then I added, as an afterthought, you know how some freaks are, baby. They come just by holding a whore's hand. When the elevator stopped, I turned around before entering it and saw that two of the card player's friends were holding him in his seat. We entered our apartment and hugged up, laughing our heads off. The smell of burning hair was strong in the air. I could hear the chatter of many feminine voices coming from the kitchen. I sighed with resignation. Moving from my flat hadn't done any good. The girls just found an excuse to leave a dress or coat whenever they visited my penthouse, and before I knew it, they had just about moved in. Boots uttered my very thoughts. Oh, Horson, every time I enter this suite, I'm overwhelmed by its beauty. You should be, I answered. For $30 a day, it should have a swimming pool in the front room. I walked into the lavishly furnished living room. The deep, blood-red wall-to-wall carpet felt plush beneath the $85 lizard skin shoes I was wearing. The carpet alone seemed to trumpet my arrival as an up-and-coming young pimp. Horson. I turned as Boots glided to a stop before entering the bedroom. Well, baby, I'm going to change into something more comfortable, she said. How about twisting me up a joint? Okay, pothead, I said. We didn't already smoke the matchbox since this morning, woman. But just for you, I'm going to smoke some more. Oh, baby, you sure treat me good, don't you? She said gaily. She dipped down in her bra and came up with a small brown envelope. I took the weed from her, and as she turned towards the bedroom door, I playfully slapped her on her wide ass. Ouch, Horson! I sat down on the white sofa and placed the envelope of marijuana on the coffee table in front of me. My eyes roamed around the room. The architectural design was typical of middle-class hotel suites around the country. However, whoever did the decor knew his business. Everything was ultra-modern. My fingers savored the smooth texture of the fine material covering the sofa as my mind received vivid impressions from an abstract oil painting on the wall in front of me. I rolled a stick of weed for myself. Relaxing against the soft cushions, I enjoyed the mellow feeling of contentment that flowed through my body. I realized that, with a house full of women, I should value this stolen time. To be alone for just a few moments gave me a tranquility that was indeed rare. I'd never before seen a wall painted black. That is, not in a hotel. It complemented the blood-red carpet. Turning my head, I took in the enamel white wall, with its louvered door through which Boots had walked. At the far end of the room, flat black wall and a mild orange-colored one, was a Nero reclining couch. Placed between this and another like it, both upholstered in leopard skin, sat a large palm plant that appeared to be growing out of the carpet. By a large window, behind the sofa I sat on, stood a floor-to-ceiling cylindrical lamp. It seemed to be made of frosted glass, with small curlicue designs etched into its surface. Looking up, I felt a strange sensation as the zebra patterns on the ceiling gave an illusion of melting together. To me,
I don't know why it keeps doing this shit.
this was a hip joint. I stood up and walked over to the Grundig stereo, sitting below the abstract painting. As I turned on the switch, the sounds of violins filled the room. Although I'm strictly a blues and jazz fiend, the mellow sound of strings in that room seemed appropriate, so I left it on. Horson, what the hell is that on the box? Boots asked me from the opened bedroom door. It's music, woman. You think the whole world listens to nothing but Jimmy Smith and Little Richard? Oh, Daddy, I was just asking. I walked back to the sofa, and taking some zigzag papers from my coat pocket, sat down and opened the envelope, pouring its contents of dark green reefer onto the long, glass-top coffee table. Boots walked over and said in a sexual voice, "Lace me up, Daddy." Turn around. I stood up and made a bow in the 2 silk strings hanging from the back of a transparent, hemmed-in mink, pink silk negligee. Boots called down the room service and had him send up a 5th of Johnny Walker Red and 6 bottles of beer. As she walked towards the telephone, she reminded me of what a top-notch whore should look like. The mink that ran around the hem of her negligee bounced softly from her half-exposed buttocks. They were large for her size, but without flaws. Her dark thighs and legs were second to none I had seen, and she drew tricks like bees to honey. After reseating myself, I began to roll a few joints. "And a bucket of ice," I called after her. She stuck her tongue out at me, but relayed my message to the desk. After hanging up, she came over and lowered herself to the carpet in front of me. I lit up a joint and handed it to her. "Now be good, honey," I said, and pried her inquiring hands loose. "Daddy, I'm always good," she said, and then started doing what I knew she would do. I took the joint from her hand and leaned back on the sofa. Smiling up at me, she unzipped my pants and began fumbling around for the separation in my shorts. "Why don't you just ask me to take them off?" I asked. "It's more fun this way," she said, and after finally getting a grip on what she was after, she began squeezing and pulling gently, then lowered her head. I felt the warmth of her mouth move up from my thighs and settle deep into my stomach. Each movement of her tongue sent frantic sensations up and down my spine until I didn't think I could stand it anymore. Through the pounding of my heart and the roaring in my mind, I heard a metallic sound. The door opened, and Diane walked in. "God damn!" she yelled. "Every time I look around, that bitch got a yard of dick down her throat." Diane pulled her wig off and walked across the room. "Damn, I'm tired," she said as she sat down. She stared at Boots for a few moments. "Damn, bitch, ain't you got no shame, cum-loving whore?" Boots stopped and looked around. "Why, Trash? You jealous?" "You damn right I'm jealous, dick-loving whore. I've been out catching tricks all day, and you sit up here with your black ass sucking all the life out of horsing. Well, don't worry, little white girl. You'll get your chance." Diane capped. "I know damn well I get my chance if you ever turn the meat loose, black-ass cow." I stood up and straightened up my clothes. Diane looked down at Boots and removed a large roll of bit, because I ain't let nobody put no static in my gang. The telephone rang, and Boots answered it. I'd made it a point never to answer a phone whenever there was a woman in the house, because sometimes tricks called, and if a man answered, they would hang up. Boots waved the receiver towards me. "It's for you, Daddy." I took the phone out of her hand. "Who is it, baby?" "It sounds like Dot." I frowned at the receiver. Dot was one of my most recent cops. Ever since I'd had her, she seemed always to get into difficulties. "What is it, honey?" I asked into the phone. Her voice came over the line, shaking and scared. "Orson, I'm sorry about not being on the track, but my brother seen me standing on the corner and made me go home with him." I shouted into the phone. "Bitch, you mean to tell me that your brother is the reason that my trap money is going to be shitty?" "But Orson, he seen me on the corner and made me go home with him," I snarled. "Tell the real whore. I don't hear no baby screaming in the background, so I know you ain't over to his house now. So just what is the reason? The real deal, bitch. Just why are you presenting this weak shit to me? Is your money funny, ho? Or have you been out yarding somewhere?" She started to cry into the receiver. "Daddy, I'm not lying. I had to climb out the bedroom window to get away." "Bitch!" I exploded. "I should make you go back to his house and walk out the front door, dumbass bitch. Don't you realize that when you are... Just shut up and listen. I ought to kill you, bitch. But I ain't. I'm gonna give you another chance. Now I want you to get your ass back up on that track and get my money right. If your brother should come back up there looking for you, don't hide. Just tell him that you're up there taking care of my business. And I don't want him blocking my game. I continued, if he should take you home anyway, don't climb out no windows, bitch. Just walk out the front door. Now, if you don't think you can handle this, I'll take you back over to your brother's house and talk to him myself. Before she could hang up mad, I smoothed her feelings so she wouldn't go to work mad. Listen, honey, all young girls make mistakes when they first go to work, so don't feel bad about it. This all goes along with the making of a good whore. If whoring was easy, every woman you see would be out in the streets with her legs in the air. But it takes a certain kind of woman to be a good whore. So most of them back up from it because they be lazy, and it just ain't in them. She was quiet for a moment. Daddy, I'm going to be a good whore, ain't I? Sure you are, baby. But it just takes hard work. Now don't forget, I don't want to see you getting in your father's car if he ain't spending no money. You understand? She laughed. Horson, you wouldn't want me to trick with my daddy, would you? Not really, honey. I grinned, then added, unless he was going to spend a show-enough big buck. Then I think you could handle it. She was still laughing when I hung the phone up. Boots picked up a joint from the coffee table. Pimp hard, Daddy, pimp hard. I laughed coldly. Yeah, baby, I said, and looked at my watch. You can start getting ready for the track, too, Miss Fine. Diane came into the